Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.
Hello and welcome to Nirmal Bang, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hiral Dadia. We have with us Pratik Gandhi, aka Harshad Mehta, or should I call him Harshad Mehta, aka Pratik Gandhi? I think we don't see any difference as of now. A popular face in the Gujarati theatre culture for over 15 years. In fact, Pratik made his movie debut in 2014 in Abhishek Jain's Bayar. 2 years later, he starred in the national award winning film Wrong Side Raju. His other notable performances include Dunki and Lavni Bhavai and Ventilator as well. Pratik Gandhi has actually done everything from installing cell phone towers to comparing and dancing, from an engineer to a self made star. In fact, he's one identity who's actually proving all talking about nepotism completely wrong. Isn't it, Pratik? Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me, and thank you very much for this lovely introduction.
Right. So, Pratik, before we go, I mean, everyone knows 1922, the Harshad Mehta story already. But let me first ask you, what's been the turning point in your career?
So I guess this is the biggest turning point that I'm having right now. It's one of the biggest milestones in my career right now, which is putting me on national platform and to an extent also an international platform because people across the world have watched this series, are watching this series. So yeah, it's a big thing for me.
Absolutely. And literally, if you talk about Scam 1992, the Harshad Mehta story, it's taken social media by the storm because if you talk about a lot of global series as well, it's one of the top rated shows. Did you even ever imagine this when you started your journey with theater?
Oh, no, I had no idea about it. Though there was always a hope that someday I'll get a big project, a big breakthrough where I'll be able to, showcase my craft. And I was hoping that should happen soon, though it took 15 years. But nevertheless, I'm really happy for it.
And when you talk about taking 15 years to reach to actually grab your dream, uh, what would you have to say about it? Because I'm sure nothing actually comes easy for anyone. To actually achieve a dream is only when you're really passionate about it. And clearly you've become a crowd favorite overnight after this impressive performance that you've given with Harshad Mehta and Scam 1992. How would you actually describe this journey with all the kind of trouble that you've taken, with all the kind of uh, skills that you've achieved already?
So I think if I have to describe this entire journey in few words, I would say it's purely passion driven,
Mm,
and it is driven by love, not by it was not out of any fear.
mm,
It was not out of any FOMO per se. uh, I was always passionate about whatever that I did, be it my stint in the corporate world, or those I also worked as a consultant engineer for a few years, be it the theater that I did, be it the smallest of the thing that I did, the journey, everything has added value to me as a person and also. So no regrets, no bitterness. The only thing is there is ample of gratitude inside me right now.
correct. So if you have to choose between an engineering culture versus uh, a Bollywood or an industry or a film star culture, which journey has been better?
Oh, both in fact, because I had been riding on two horses together, and
Hmm.
I had been actually living dual life. So morning rehearsals, day job, and evening shows is what I have lived for longest time. And that's how I could, at one point I had to decide between these two because then I started having opportunity losses at both the places.
Hmm.
But my passion, my love for both these fields is still there.
Right. So if ever you have to get back to engineering, is that something would you ever prefer? Probably 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line again.
Oh my God, I'm always excited about doing something or the other because I feel engineering is not a degree, it's a way of life. It's the
Hmm.
way you think, and that never leaves you. So once an engineer, always an engineer, I guess.
Correct. Absolutely. And when Scam 1992 you when you got to know that you have to be Harshad Mehta, had did you actually know about what the scam was, or did you actually have to really dig deep into it?
So I had to dig down into the technicalities involved in it because I knew what happened then. Because I was in school in 1992 when these all things happened, and one of my close family members, they have lost some money also in share market back then. But I was in school, so I was it was too early for me to understand any technicalities involved.
Hmm.
So when I was character and I came to know about this entire scam, so I read a lot of reference material about it. The book, the scam 1992 by Sucheta Dalal and Debashis Basu. So
Hmm.
that book also was a actually basic document for us. And the script. Our script is 550 pages research
Wow.
document. So that also gave me a lot of insight. I met a lot of people who have
Hmm.
worked with Harshad Mehta, a lot of people Bombay Stock Exchange during 80s and 90s. So yeah, all those basic research that I did.
So did you get an opportunity to meet anyone from his family, Pratik?
Not yet.
I mean, I'm sure they would be thrilled because, I mean, I think when I was in school as well, there is this one opportunity that I had got to meet him. And when I now saw the series, and when I had met him as a child, I see a lot of similarity, not in terms of the appearance, but in terms of, say, the attitude, the way of speaking. So what is it that actually made you decide that, okay, in appearance both of us are two different identities, there's not much similarity that comes through, but I have to be a person and match everything? What gave you that confidence that yes, I'm up to take it?
So see, I have done a lot of biopic characters on stage
Hmm.
for the longest time, and that too in the format of monologues, where I am the only one who's performing on stage for 2 hours. That character.
Correct.
So that gave me a lot of confidence to portray such characters, such complex human
Hmm.
emotions and all those things. And I always get intrigued by these kind of characters. And on top of it, we were to come out with the human aspect of Harshad Mehta
Correct.
and not making not do mimicry about it,
Correct.
so not be making him caricaturish. The actual human essence of Harshad
Hmm.
Mehta,
Hmm.
his attitude, the feel, the way he approached the world, the way he was so confident. So that arrogance, that ego, that
Hmm.
those hopes that he always had, all those things. So and that can happen only once I internalize these things.
Correct. So,
And
so
the job of an actor is what I feel.
right. So, did you find any similarity between your life and Harshad Mehta's?
Yeah, I guess initial days of Harshad
Hmm.
Mehta, because that shows that that when he was trying to break through those class divide, and he wanted to make his own place in the
Hmm.
mainstream industry and all. So that's where I guess anybody would relate to it. I also closely relate to that.
Right. And you know, if Harshad Mehta as a character is something which actually got you that breakthrough, got you that kind of recognition that you probably deserved long ago. However, if you have to keep 1992, the scam aside, and compare it to the other roles, other movies that you've taken up in the past, which would it be which actually deserved the same kind of recognition according to you?
Oh, there are a lot of things. In fact, Wrong Side Raj actually, gone got more than what it got actually. it deserved a lot. Dunki is one of my personal
Hmm.
favorite films that I did. It also projects my personal life that way, very, very closely. Ventilator, for that matter. That Ventilator Marathi won national award, but when we actually adapted in Gujarati, it has become a different film altogether.
Hmm. So these are movies I
So
think we
these are the films which I feel should actually got much more than what it actually got.
So I think a re-release is something which should be done with Dunki or even for that matter a Ventilator.
Oh, those are listening. Yes, they should.
Because I think that's something if people have missed from here on, I think they would really want to watch. So I think everyone who's listening should be watching a Dunki and a Ventilator as Pratik's favorites as well. And from
Oh,
here,
so these films are there on, yeah, both these films are available on the OTT platform.
perfect. So I think
There
this is going to be the right
on
time.
Amazon Prime. Yeah.
So this is going to be the right time for everyone to catch up on these movies as well, Pratik. And Pratik, taking this kind of success now which has come to, uh, especially after having such an illustrious career in theatre, how does it feel?
It feels really good. Always felt theater is the place where actors can, practice their craft, where a real actor inside you gets prepared. And theater gives you that opportunity to constantly grounded and yet be absolutely powerful when it comes to creating character. So all credits to my theaters that it gave me so much that I could.
Hmm,
I'm here in this place talking to you right now.
correct. And then Pratik, a lot of times what happens is that for a dream like this, or not only for theater, for any other dreams that people have, there is such a long chase that goes through, and a lot of people that you've chased, in your life to reach where you want to reach. And a lot of times you've not really got a response back. And suddenly, when they see you tasting that success, it's the same people who come back to you. Have you come across people who've actually rejected you earlier, probably said, no, probably you're not meant for this role, or this is what you lack. And then you worked upon those skills, and now they are the ones who've been calling you back.
It's a very, very integral part of any actor's life. It keeps happening because nothing is permanent here.
Mm.
Somebody says that you can't do this, and I guess so. In the next meeting, that person would actually convince you to do the same thing because everything changes every day. Take these things to my heart. Don't about it. I don't get irritated on it because it's a very, very normal human reaction to things. So any common human being would react like this. And
Hmm.
people generally largely are interested in the success, not the process of success,
Correct.
unless you are successful. So you have to create your own success story
Hmm.
for the world to get interested in you.
Correct. And then, overall as well, how did you actually choose between engineering and acting? Because as you said, you were riding on two horses, and when both the horses are on its way to win, it's a difficult situation, right? You don't know where to go. What made you take that decision that I am going to, for the time being, leave engineering and take up acting?
So till 2016, I kept doing both these things together, and I kept, I was growing in both the field. I would say because there also, right from assistant manager, when I joined, I was assistant manager. When I resigned, I was deputy general manager, and the next promotion would have actually put me in senior management cadre. That would have required a lot of my time and a lot of things. In fact, I was getting good job offers from big five consultancies also, but that would have required me to leave Bombay,
Hmm.
or maybe for that matter, leave India for a while, you know, and that would have stopped my theater career altogether, which I never wanted. So that
Hmm.
was a time where I had to decide that I'm having opportunity losses at both the places. Because on the other side, I was getting good offers from Gujarati films or new plays, and a lot of things were happening. And then me and my family, we all decided that this is where my heart lies. So I better now. This is the time. It's now or never. So in 2016, I guess after the release of Wrong Side Raju, when it the I resigned and I became a full-time actor. Then Wrong Side Raju won national award too. So that's another part. But
Hmm. So by that time, were you sure that you've achieved your dream, and you're sure that acting is going to be your future from here on?
yes, I felt that now this is it. Let's see. Let's what can we do? Because I had done a lot of things, a lot of different aspects of acting also that I had explored. Be it radio natak or play readings or poetry recitations or solo plays or major commercial plays, experimental plays. So then I had something in mind that at least something that I'll be able to do with
Hmm.
my life.
Right. And then with this, how were your days? Because when I was reading about you, Pratik, it clearly told me 6 hours of sleep, 8 hours of work, left with another 10 hours where a lot of them was spent with either theater or something else like that. So how were your initial days, if you have to describe your journey? Because I think you took up your first theater or your first act when you were in school. Slowly, steadily, you went ahead with it. Now, how did your day actually look like when you were on both the horses? How did you manage work one, work two, plus family?
So I think the most, I mean, the family was in the most compromising situation. The family was compromised the most because they, I guess, got the least of my time or least of my attention. And on and in return, they were constantly supportive. They were constantly motivating me. They were
Hmm.
constantly encouraging me. So that's the biggest plus in my life, which helped me go beyond the call of duty in both the careers.
Hmm.
Like for the office also, like when I was working in the corporate, it was a very demanding job, and my profile was such that I had to work in tandem with the seniors there. So it was not a job where I can afford to not to go some days. I can just take a casual leave that way and all. On the other hand, theater was also equally demanding because nobody is bothered if I am working somewhere or no. But when I'm
Hmm.
there on stage, when I'm there in the rehearsals, I have to give my 100%. So I guess doing two things together with equal passion improved my productivity, improved my focus. It improved my strive for excellence also.
Correct.
That I can't leave any room for error,
Hmm.
and that made me even more aware about myself. So that is one part. And as far as the days and timetable is concerned, so I don't know how I managed it, but because I guess when passion drives you, things
Hmm.
fall in place.
Absolutely, a very well made point that the moment you have the passion, automatically your drive, your path towards it opens up. And with this, when you mentioned about family life as well, that was something, and I think for everyone, that's a space which is always compromised when you're trying to achieve your dreams, because they are the ones who actually understand you the best and are the ones who support you the most. You scripted your real life romance as well at Prithvi, a place which is actually dedicated to fictional recitals. Tell us more about it.
Oh yeah, so I guess yeah, theater. As I told you, theater has given me so much, and the love of my life also. So it was in 2006 Prithvi Festival where I was performing a play, which was a mute play. It
Mm.
has no dialogues, and I was doing some acrobatics on center stage, and that's how I saw her. And since then, I pursued her for almost 2 years. Then we met for the first time, and that's how the story started. Then eventually, after 2.5 years, we got married, and now we are together since last 12 years.
So, love, life, and fame, everything comes from theater for you right now.
Yes.
I mean, that's something which is incredible. And if I'm not mistaken, Aap Paar Ke Pehle Paar was your first play. How was your experience on that front?
Oh, that was a very interesting experience. I learned a lot of things because
Mhm.
that's the only commercial Gujarati play that I had done ever till date. Because after that play, I actually shifted my gears to, experimental theater, where I felt that there is more to learn, there is more to challenge myself as an actor, and that's how I shifted. But Apar Ke Pele Paar holds a very, very dear place in my heart that way, because that's the first play in Mumbai commercial theater circuit that I got. And because of that play, I got my passport done. I traveled abroad for the first time in my life in 2005. We had a show in Dubai, and that we did 250 shows of that play.
Wow.
And yeah, so that got me started actually.
So Pratik, overall, right now, you've done theater, you've done OTT platform series, Bollywood, maybe at least on screen, you've done Gujarati plays, etc. How would you distinguish between all of these platforms?
So I guess it's a very interesting thing for an actor to learn, to know, and to be aware of that each platform is different, each format is different. Theater is a live medium and a live format, where all the body gestures and everything that I do should reach to the last person in the theater. And because it is live, the last person in the theater will not be able to see my facial expressions, but he still should get the same intensity that the first person in the row gets.
Correct.
And that's a very tricky thing in theater that you do, because that's how you have to, moderate your performance. Similarly, the moment you perform in front of the camera, things change, because the slightest of the movement of my facial muscle will also be seen by the people.
Correct.
So I have to calibrate my performance. I have to calibrate the way I create the character, though the internalization of the character remains same. My reactions and everything is same. It's just the calibration of your performance here and there to suit to that particular format.
So is it difficult if for example, simultaneously, if you're shooting for a film, for something on an OTT platform, and you're rehearsing for theater, does it get really difficult to juggle between what the output is going to look like?
See, it's all a matter of practice. The more you practice, it becomes your second nature, and then it's okay. I mean, then it's hardly something, because I had been doing this since quite a long time. So there are a lot of instances where I do the whole day shoot, and then in the night or evening I have a show to perform, and there are two different plays in a day. So that it keeps happening, and the more you do these things, you can train your brain for it. And human brain is an amazing thing, in the world. It can do wonders. We are just utilizing 5-10% of our brain.
Correct. And then especially the physical transformation also that we saw that you bought for Scam 1992, you almost gained 18 kgs for this role. How did you really manage that? And then to get back to normal once again?
A very situation for any actor to gain weight and get into some other body type altogether. But I had to do this for this character. I gained a lot of weight on my belly, on my chin, double chin, double cheeks, and a huge that I used to have after gaining those 18 kgs. Once the shoot was done, on 5th March was the last shoot date that we had, and from 15th March onwards, lockdown happened. And I mean, any which ways I was, wanting to cut down all that extra kilos that I got. So first 60 days of lockdown that I utilized with rigorous workout and some diet changes here and there. Initial 15 days journey was absolutely painful, because shredding those extra kilo is not a joke.
Correct.
It takes a lot of effort. That's how it is. Yeah. So I had something to look forward to. I always wanted to get back to the shape before the scam releases, so that I'm ready for the next project if it comes to me.
Right. But we do miss the look in these interviews, Pratik.
I know a lot of people are saying that the mustache and those, the big face that they're missing, but believe me, it's not a good thing to carry on.
Sure. And then, and with this as well, I mean, what has been that one learning that you've seen from the life of Harshad Mehta? Because when you say you did lead a lot of research about him, of how he was as a person, you were actually the second face that everyone will now ever think of Harshad Mehta, or probably even if today's generation, Pratik, has to think of Harshad Mehta, I'm sure the ones who've not seen Harshad Mehta will always think of Harshad Mehta as Pratik Gandhi. So, what is that one learning that you've taken from his life?
I guess one learning that I've taken from his life is be extra self-aware, be extra
Hmm.
conscious. You are achieving your dream that it's converted to greed, you will never know. And you should be aware of that point where you should stop, that this is it.
Hmm.
Because that's what I felt for Harshad Mehta. At beyond a point, he should have stopped. But
Correct.
he just I guess he went ahead with the flow, and he could not understand when the gears were shifting,
Hmm.
when his dreams were, it's good to chase the dream, to work for it, but then you can't become slave of your dream, that
Great.
even if the dream had died long back, it has become a greed now, and you're still not able to understand this.
Right. And then, with Harshad Mehta as well, another thing is that a lot of negative emotions that have been associated, a lot of negative sentiment has been associated with him when you talk about a character which has that partial grayscale in India. And people who've been in the financial market, yes, there is some bit of respect for him, but somewhere that negative tonality always comes out. What gave you that confidence to play a character like this?
So I was actually not afraid of playing such character.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, this character intrigued me a lot because it's a very, very complex character to perform.
Mm,
And to humanize such character is another challenge for an actor.
correct.
That even after knowing everything about him, I am supposed to forget everything, give him a fresh approach and a neutral approach, where I'm not trying to make hero or villain.
Mm,
I'm just creating a character that reacts in certain situation differently than others, and then it leads to destiny, his future. So that's the character, and that is what is working with people, is what I came to know now, that see that humanization of Harshad Mehta. So there are a lot of people who told me that at one got confused whether to hate him or to love him.
correct. And then, Pratik, with this, how do you see your acting journey from here on?
I guess I'm very, very excited right now because there are a lot of good projects. I am reading a lot of scripts. I'm being given good narrations also. So hopefully, some good big projects of mainstream films and web series should come my way.
Right. And then, Pratik, there's a question coming in from the crowd asking who actually coined the word Lala? Was it a part of the script or was it your own? And if you could just say something with that Lala.
तो इसमें किसी एक आदमी का हाथ नहीं है, ये सबकी मेहनत है. But I would give credit to Karan Vyas, who's one of the dialogue writers of the script. Such nuances that he got in the script, and then the placement of Lala at different place in different lines, in the meter, the way we see it, without making it a forced
Mm,
is around, and that's what I did. Place Lala where it becomes an integral part of the dialogue, the line, and my vocabulary.
correct. And that's a
तकिया कलाम जैसा नहीं बन जाना चाहिए.
correct, correct, absolutely. And then, which have been your favorite dialogues from life of Harshad Mehta? Because I know मैं history बनाना चाहता हूँ, risk है तो इश्क है. These two are something which we've always, I mean, have on a constant basis, I think people have been started using these tremendously. What are your favorite dialogues, and if you can recite them for us?
So see, one of my favorite dialogues is this: failure क्या है, success क्या है, failure के बाद का नया chapter. That resonates with my thought process also. So I love that dialogue. Another one is मैं सिगरेट नहीं पीता पर जेब में लाइटर जरूर रखता हूँ धमाका करने के लिए.
And then if you could even say the
प्रॉफिट मिलता है तो हर कोई झुकता है.
correct. And I think that's how the stock markets resonate with it as well. That profit milta hai to har koi jhukta hai. And then
Yes,
absolutely. And with
झुकता है.
stock markets as well, I know I don't want to really take a stock market question with you, but did this entire series give you any excitement? Did it ever give you any motivation saying that, okay, I want to start investing in the markets?
Oh yes, yes, definitely. When we were shooting there in BSC Ring inside, I met a lot of people around, and looking at them, the way they talk, there are a lot of things involved. In fact, while reading about this entire thing, the technicalities and all, I got intrigued by that entire industry. So yes, I want to learn more about it.
Correct. And then, very lastly, Pratik, a lot of aspiring entrepreneurs were here, a lot of aspiring actors were here as well, who probably don't find their way through. What would your advice be to them? Because currently, the world is talking about nepotism, and you've clearly proved that wrong. That yes, if you actually want to do what you want to achieve, there is a way out. Yeah, probably it will take its own time. So, what would your advice be to all of these young aspiring actors and actresses around?
I think all the actors, I'm just sharing what worked with me. There is no thumb rule, there are no theories around it. You know, what worked for me might not work
Correct.
for somebody else. I'm just sharing my experience. Is theater helped me a lot, shape myself as an actor. Uh, get that finesse in my craft, get that discipline in myself. So theater is one thing that every actor should focus on and should keep on doing to practice their craft. Because apart from everything else, that first break or last break or second break or everything else, your craft is your major asset, and nobody can take it from you, right? So build that asset in a stronger way, get that one chance and actually hit it out of the park.
Absolutely. And that's a great advice that you've given. And which is the next show that we should be awaiting from Pratik Gandhi?
The next that I'm also waiting for, but which I can announce soon. So I guess I'm discussing a lot of scripts right now. Something should get finalized and I should be able to announce it soon.
Right. So absolutely, we will be waiting for that, Pratik. And in the meantime, all of us should be waiting to catch up with Dhunki, Ventilator, or even for that matter, Wrong Side Raju, and wait for the next one to release. Thank you so much for joining in. It was a pleasure to speak to you. It was a pleasure to have you. And always good to speak to people who've achieved these kind of heights with great perseverance, passion, and who actually strive to achieve their dream. Good luck for your future, and we will hope to see you once again, and stay safe.
Thank you very much for having me, and thanks a lot for all the love. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Pratik. Bye-bye.